Welcome to Driving for Dollars Mastery, the best, fastest, and easiest way to find and turn wholesale properties for huge profits. We'll provide you with the tried and true strategies that are guaranteed to help you build your own business by recognizing distressed properties all from the comfort of your own vehicle. So buckle up and let's get ready to ride with your host, Zack Boothe.
So a lot of the times your end buyers will put properties under contract just so you can't market it to find someone else that actually is interested. And the whole goal for them is to just beat you up on price or beat up the seller on price and drag it out and see what kind of deal they can get.
Yep.
And which is just a freaking nightmare. And so you had mentioned non-refundable earnest money. Mm-hmm. So what, Dominic does now, what I've taught you to do, right? And what we do in our business is we require non-refundable earnest money. What that means is if someone wants to buy a contract from us, they have to give us a certain amount of money that's non-refundable. So if they don't perform, they lose something.
Yep.
You get rid of tire kickers and jerks really fast.
Yep.
When there's some skin in the game, right? So you never get rid of the non-refundable. And customary, when you put a house under contract, you have to put earnest money. So and that usually goes to the title company. But since you're selling a purchase contract, right, the earnest money doesn't necessarily need to go to the title. And sometimes, here's a gold nugget for you. Sometimes your end buyers will be like, well, I want to send my earnest money to the title company. Mm-hmm. But that's not how we do it. We have them write a check directly to our company for earnest money on selling the purchase contracts, because they're not the same thing. They're not putting a house under contract. They're putting my contract under contract. Mm-hmm. Right. So that's what I explain to them when they have issues with sending me the earnest money. And the other thing, if they're not willing to do that, they don't get the deal. Mm-hmm. It's funny. I was actually talking to Hayden, my main acquisition manager, about this yesterday, Dominic, about a buyer. He's like, dude, there's this one buyer that's driving me crazy. Every time I send out a deal, I send it low on purpose. So I create a lot of interest and it gets bid up above asking. Sure. And he calls me and he's like, I'm at the bank. I'll wire you the money right now, but we have to do it now or we're not doing this deal. Like pressuring him to take the money. And he's like, dude, it's highest and best. Well, tell me where I need to be. No. It's highest and best. Make your highest offer you can make. Well, tell me what your highest offer is and I'll beat it. That's not how it works. What if I told you the highest offer? And we were laughing about it. Like these buyers are like, they're so hungry for deals, which is great for us, but it's, you got to have those processes. So that's really important. So you learned a valuable mistake, right, on that first one. Oh, yeah. And I tell people all the time that real estate wholesaling is awesome because you learn so much about real estate and you learn and earn at the same time. Yep. Right. And so that journey to that first deal, you learn so many lessons. Oh, so the first deal, huge lesson is how to work with cash buyers and not let them push you around, not become an employee basically to your cash buyer. So what a cool lesson from first deal that doesn't work out. Second deal, what happened?
Oh man, second deal. Which one was that? The second deal was in Salem, which is a city just kind of right outside of Portland. Mm-hmm. Got it under contract. It was a sight unseen offer. It got accepted sight unseen, and the lady wanted $250 for it. I thought the comps the ARV would be around like 370, 380 or so.
So fixed up or 370.
Yeah, and I thought it might need about, from what she told me, about 40, 50 grand of work, maybe 60 grand. And I, in this market, I thought I'd be able to find a buyer for that. And I went to go get pictures and whatnot for the property after getting it under contract. And there was a tenant in there. He was still moving out, and it was actively moving out. So he actually did move out. But the house, just looking at it, needed easily over 100 grand work. I mean, it was just like I totally screwed up on the rehab costs, and blasted it out anyways, and just couldn't find a buyer for it. And
the seller wasn't willing to renegotiate?
Not willing to renegotiate. No, she would not come down on price at all. So she was willing to let the contract basically, ride out and let me back out and just try to sell it herself. And she hasn't sold it yet, so I don't know what's going on with it now. But
well, that one sounds like it still potentially could be a deal. I would keep calling her and talking to her, and she'll eventually come to the realization it's not as worth as much as she wants.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that happens sometimes, right? Like you have a property where it's worse off than you think. And I've put properties under contract as well, where during the inspection process and getting our buyers through, they'll notice mold or they'll notice like very major repairs or something that I hadn't noticed and had to go back and renegotiate price because of the inspection. That's why we have the inspection period, right? Sometimes they'll renegotiate and other times they won't at all,
Yeah. Right.
So okay, so that happened. Third deal, what happened?
Third deal was it was Vancouver, Washington. Well, this deal actually is still potentially a deal. It's was actually a referral from a friend who called me, and his cousin had died, and they went through the probate process and were going to sell the house and wanted a cash offer. So I was able to get him a cash offer and got it under contract for a pretty decent price, and we found a buyer for it. They paid the non-refundable, and we got all the way up to this point where we were ready to close. Buyers were ready to close, and basically my buddy, who was the executor of the will of the estate, was ready to close, but we needed like 7 signatures. We got 6, and the 7th, the lady that we needed the signature from just won't sign it. Won't sign the deal. Won't answer anybody's phone calls. Just can't get in touch with her. She's cussed out a few of the other family members, just from them trying to get her to sign it, and nobody knows why she won't sign it. So, and it's just kind of sitting in limbo, actually, right now. So,
jeez. Well, that's a good thing though, right? Because it's an ongoing situation, right? It's just like the second deal, which, like I said, that's very common. And that's what most people don't realize is you got to do the marketing, you got to find the leads, but then you got to work through problems. Usually people want speed and convenience because it's been a problem. It's been a headache. It's an inherited property and they got shitty siblings they're dealing with.